But this is so important. I'm living next door to a terrorist, a psychopath who should really be with people who are paid to take care of people like this. I've literally just had a shower, so you can see the eyebrow that I was saying it was blown off in one of the videos. This guy can do things to someone from a distance. I woke up feeling an explosion in my face. Today I haven't touched my eyebrows up yet. They're not yet darkened. So you can still tell to some extent that this one has not meshed back up with this one. Zubir started whispering as I was drying my body. My back was turned to the wall. I don't know how he can see into my flat. When you see this video, do share it with the police, because he can explain what it is. Relate someone from a distance, how we can beat someone up from a distance. I've said in another video, I was on my patio crying my eyes out, asking for forgiveness for things I do not know or understand. Because he'll be explaining to people that he's now doing this and actually get someone to comment or justify himself that, oh, she didn't do this, so I'm doing this to her. From a distance, through the wall. There are people who understand what he's about to do to me before he even does it. There are people who actually know he's about to sexually assault me. Or they will know that my abdomen is getting beaten up. The last day I was at work on the 14th of October in Chigwell. On that morning, I enjoyed so much attack. I remember walking through this area. There's a market sort of place, shopping area set up next to the UKCG church, I think. There's a bus stop there. And there was a man with a flag from Pakistan, and he was lamenting. I don't know what he was saying in his language, but he was crying his eyes out. And I remember I had to jump into a taxi. I would have blamed the taxi driver. Do you know? I would have thought he's done something with his car when he's not done anything. Lately, Zubir has been confessing a lot of things. The way I was bleeding after that, it was like I had miscarried a child. I told them, no, I cannot concentrate. I need to leave. I could not tell them about the bleeding because while I was waiting for them to get me a taxi home, I eventually went to the toilet and realized I was bleeding severely. This guy he's threatened once to tear my ovary out. Immediately, I felt sharp pain. The people who know technology, who know even how you use those simulation, those simulation goggles. I don't know if it's Apple, Samsung does those simulation kind of technology. I don't know what's behind it. I don't know how this person is able to be whispering through the wall. Such perversion. There are places where people are kept, where they have levels of mania and psychopathic thoughts, where they know how they can twist information that is against them towards somebody else, where they know how to induce, how to make somebody react angrily. That's the aim of this guy. I've just made a video of somebody else who's just confessed that no, Rumbi's not crazy. We need to make her even more crazy. These people are still calling me by my old name. My name is Caroline Carush. The surname will be changed soon, by God's grace. So, okay, my surname is Charakupa at the moment. It should be changed soon by God's grace. The ex-husband refused to give me money so I can change my name. And then most recently, I found out that my backup deed poll, I was actually trying to get a refund on it. It's been stolen, apparently by the same people in flat 4. Can you imagine this level of attacks on me? I had a moment to get angry because how the hell is this guy watching me through the wall with my back turned? I don't know. And apparently, I washed myself, right? I was in the shower. And he said he's now got access because I sexually violated him while I am showering myself. How is that possible? How is that possible? It's a whole different level of terror. It got me so angry. How is it possible that this person gets to accuse me of things that they're responsible for? It doesn't make sense. If I was working within like a healthcare setting for a high security facility, like Broadmoor, maybe, or I don't know, I actually don't know what a high security prison, maximum prison in England would be. Where I come from in Zimbabwe, we call such a place Chikurubi. Very strong, high facility. You have to be, I don't know, no, actually, that would not be enough. Chikurubi would not be enough to keep someone like Zubir because his level, it's a combination of personalities. At the same time, this guy will get offended that I just decided to do something that he just didn't think was coming. He will get offended and attack me. I will feel pain in my body. Lately, he does this thing where it's like he's stabbed, he's electrocuted. I can't describe the pain. I don't know. He's developing it. In 2023, he wasn't abusing me like this. Apparently, they were about to move out, called off a job. The job of keeping me isolated from potential husbands, friends who might develop into husbands. So there's a war to take over my property. I don't know who's been telling him war stories. Lately, threatening to rape me. He has been breaking through my doors. Today, I'm just going to return a pair of slippers that I bought to replace the ones that he stole from me. Because it just hasn't worked out with this pair. Because they were now too expensive for me to buy the exact ones. So now I have to return this pair. When I walk out through the city center, I shouldn't be reacting. So that apparently men are being indoctrinated that if I show pain or if I react to it, then they shouldn't approach me. What kind of deception is that? Because if I react and show that, okay, something just happened, I don't know how much force is being used to beat me. And then he says, good. Apparently, he used an officer's voice earlier. This guy's a hacker. I would really not like to believe that he's now got the officer who attended to me. There was a pair who attended to me last year. I would really not like to believe that. I'd rather that is actually using their voices to actually compliment him. That well, she hasn't reacted, so I would say that's not consent. I was just having my morning Bible study here. And part of that is me calming myself down, even through an attack. So if I then respond to pain or assault, apparently it's being used to advise men don't approach her because she's now reacting. She has to pretend through the pain. Right now, Should I flinch? Apparently, it's a problem. Should I not? Apparently, it's evidence of consent. How is that consent? Through the world, can easily communicate with this Zubir guy and tell him, no, stop, this is inappropriate. You have no boundaries. You're disrespectful of human life. Apparently, men are being trained not to be a support network to me. Apparently, they're being trained to is exhibiting multi-personality. Never mind marriage proposals. I know why he's putting that flat. Let's just talk about the mentality you have to be violent towards someone, another human being. Let's talk about the mentality you have to develop things from a distance, to attack someone's body. And then sometimes you're helping yourself sexually. I was in the shower. He said, I have violated him sexually. Can you imagine what sort of mentality that would be? What sort of mentality is that? For someone to actually be saying, they're now blaming me. They're saying that I've given them access to do something, to violate me, because I washed my private area. I've cleaned myself. So they felt it. So Zubir in flat 4, in the adjacent flat, is saying that he's felt me touching him by touching myself, by cleaning myself. He felt sexually violated. How? How? So when I say to officers, please, can you attend to Zubir? Can you go and check him out? Strip search him. I will be expecting exactly that because I don't know how. Disregard my explanation or my rationale of maybe it's technology or, I mean, it could be witchcraft too. I don't know what it is. How is he doing it? How is he able to see me? How is he able to see me? The other day, he confessed that he bugged my mirror. Because when I'm not wearing my glasses or correctional lenses, sometimes I can't find where my things are. But apparently, network base that cheer him on in his criminal activities, their noise pollution, even as I walk about. What has he done to me? Officers, can you find out? The truth has to come out. What has he actually done to my body, my mind? What has he done so that I can feel a headache, terrible headache? Drinking water won't help it. Taking paracetamol does not help it. What has he actually done to my mind and my body? Please, if you don't understand this level of cruelty, if you don't understand this level of manipulation, if you don't understand this level of warfare, like me, don't criticize. Leave it to the officers. Leave it to the investigators. Don't criticize me. I am experiencing it. If it's happening to you, you can come and express yourself. But if you're not experiencing this, don't come and judge me. Try and find out. Forensics, whoever. Try and find out how is it happening. Because yes, they boast of witchcraft in there. They boast of having developed their technology. They laugh at him in that flat when he comes up with all sorts of suggestions that he's going to put whatever he's expecting on me to exchange his fate. Can you imagine? He was expecting to be arrested months ago in July. How he's suicidal. But as time went on, because they weren't coming, he was now expecting, because apparently he's developed some sort of communication system so that even the police can be aware or can be passing by. You hear a siren, then you can actually hear the officer's thoughts from a distance. He's threatened his criminal partner that if she ever runs, he will kill her from a distance. This guy can use technology that feels like a car seat that you can hit electronically. He knows how to hit my back from a distance. I don't live with him. He knows how to amplify his voice so that it's moving about in my flat. And apparently he's talking about making videos of him being in my flat with me to claim things about me, so that if there's any potential person trying to approach me, they will send that video to the person to say she was with Zubir. Do you know what? I don't know. He makes this information available for people to hear, to use my eyes, to use my ears, to know what's happening. Why? How is this possible? Anti-terror team, you could possibly have someone who is quite intuitive, who might actually come to you and propose that you go into flat 4 to take him. I don't know how this is happening. I actually do not need counseling for trauma of what I'm going through right now. What I need is for this guy to be addressed. His special level of mania, multi-personality disorder, he's consulted some doctors, as I said before. And then he used the Indian Airways as an example. He blew up the plane because maybe they had cooperated with him and he wanted to get rid of the evidence. Maybe they were standing up to him and he wanted to get rid of that evidence. Whichever way, Zubir doesn't care about life at all. He's not a life giver. And now he's got gonorrhea. All he does is whoever he slept with, he's got some sort of capability of sending them around. Looking ahead, like gonorrhea, I think it really does something to your brain. When you're sick, people do assess you, professionals do assess your mental health to see how you're coping with the situation. I'm a former healthcare professional. I can actually tell some things that this guy, he will think, even when I had returned to my property having been called Mrs. Charakupa, one day he actually thought he's going to lay as Charakupa. He used to prance around in front of my patio, proposing marriage to me as a newly married woman. Okay, fine. I guess as a hacker, he actually had also knew that my relationship was falling apart, I guess. I guess he also knew that. So he's busy proposing marriage to me. I actually made a second deed poll because I knew that, I'm not really sure. I wasn't sure. I wasn't confident at all that my ex-husband would snap out of it. And this hacker already knew. He already knew that things were going on. So there's nothing about just running away from this situation. There are people who are trained to deal with terrorists. He's already confessed. That's the level. I think when he confessed that he's a radicalist and not a Muslim, it was not enough. I don't think he went onto the police website yesterday and read through what qualifies to be reported as terrorism. Every bullet point on there was a tick for Zubir. The list could be extended for Zubir. So today I'm going into the shopping area. Goodness gracious. People enjoy saying, I'm just glad that there's no violence. As if it's a compliment. It's not a compliment for me because I'm not naturally violent. By the time I get angry, I've been going through this for the last 2 years, I would say. The pain, no, 3. This is the 3rd year. Because I once actually called an ambulance to just rush to the hospital, to check myself, to see. Um, my legs feel like they're swelling. My body feels like it's getting squashed, as if I'm being wrapped up in a python. You know what pythons do? They squash their prey and then swallow it whole. It can even be a huge, humongous cow. So if someone has that capability, how are they doing it? Because I got all my physiological things checked. And when they check you, of course, they'll assess your mental health. I came back, blood tests were taken. Results are all clear. So my knee is getting beaten up right now. So for a while, I was having struggles with mobility and that. When I signed up for some benefits last year, I had to be assessed. And I had to be trying to explain the limitations of my movement, of why I don't move well, or why I have to start leaning onto things. Not this year. When I can, I will be walking through it. If I have to stop, I will stop. I will try to respond how I can. But I know there are people who know, even in the community. Sometimes if I'm sexually assaulted in public, those who are calling me names might look away. It's not enough. How is this happening? Why is Zubia allowed to infect a whole community before? His levels are increasing. He was being celebrated in Romford, he and Hannah. They've been celebrated in Romford. We're coming to Halloween. We cannot discredit the impact of evil. It's not just about costumes and, living the horror story. People disappear around this time. So what is it that Zubi is actually doing from a distance? Why does he hide in that flat? Okay, fine. If he's gone to work, still, he can still affect me from a distance. Why? How is that possible? How? Why? So some people have created and enhanced the internet. They've enhanced the technology. Why must someone take advantage of situations like that to be testing it on another human being? If you're going to do some sort of research, do you not approach individuals to volunteer or to, induct them? My goodness gracious. Stabbing. I've just been stabbed. How is that happening? How is it happening? I don't have to go around praying the whole day so that people from mental health, I know people don't want me to be praying, especially if you're on the other side. You will easily start saying, oh, I'm getting affected. Must you pray? Must you pray? I'm still a minister. I'm just not on stage at the moment. And yes, I must pray to contain myself. Because yes, I can be angry, but I cannot be angry to that level. I only tested myself and realized, no, I cannot be on a level. Yesterday, when I read out the things that can be reported as terrorism, I realized that, oh my goodness, I can't be dealing with this alone. This needs a whole anti-terrorism response. Zubia actually needs a whole anti-terrorism response, a prompt, urgent response. People with weapons. I cannot be the one facing Zubia alone. I'm not afraid of him. I've gone tired, sick and tired of his abuse and violations and hearing about his criminal confessions, admissions, affiliations. He's got people who I used to know, who he's now working with. They've formed their bonds by sleeping with each other. He gets people talking about having sexual health diseases like it's nothing. Only when they research on it and actually find out that their futures and he lives with. He's now accepted his fate because they bought a car to shut him up. But it's not a simple situation at all. Fine, when you understand the times, you know that, okay, there was measles. In Czech, currently something happening with the crops all over. Goodness, even if it's a time for the sexual health thing spreading, people need to you need to wake up. You can't be celebrating that, okay, it's going to be a normal thing. You can't be celebrating like it's COVID. You can't be celebrating if you're okay. But obviously, if you're not okay, if your brain has already been infected, because these things, when you're sick, you need to go and get assessed, get treatment quickly, so that the stuff that's running through your brain, through your blood, doesn't affect your brain and the way you think. You have to get some support networks so that you can still be okay to be out in the society. Because when you're sick and infected, and especially in this case where someone can have multiple personality disorder and be so violent, even to the extent that you actually rape people. Just apologizing to your son that it's not enough. It's not enough at all. Someone needs to actually go in, arrest this guy. You can't just come and assess him in the community. This guy is dangerous. You can't send nurses through those doors, male or female. You can't just send nurses to go and assess this guy. I'm saying this because I've had community people come and attend to me unjustly. At first, I was advised by the doctor, okay, I'm recommending you to these people in the community because I was a bit sad. I was quite intimidated. I could not open up to the doctor at the time. He said, okay, you go and see the people in the community. I was quite reluctant because I knew, okay, no, this is not something that I really need to be dealing with. But I complied. I went there, they assessed me, and then we left it. I was discharged. There was nothing to go by. I took citalopram to restore joy. To restore joy. Now I'm finding out that I'm actually dealing with a terrorist with multiple strategies against my life. Every day he's thinking of reasons of what to say, how to get people to be aggressive towards me. I know people don't want to hear that he's using technology because he could also be using witchcraft and whatnot. When I apply for jobs, this guy will find a way, will find someone to go and misrepresent me. And then people will just respond, we don't know what it is. It's not you. You've got a great CV. We can't actually put our finger on it. They're saying to me they're confused as to why they can't employ me. Apparently, this guy, with his technology and managing to amplify his voice, move it around in my flat, he was going to build up a video to show himself as if he's in my flat. So, with what he's amplifying, I was in the police station once reporting something. I thought something. The officer jumped back. That was my. What I think he did it for was so that he can hear what God says to me in advance, or what I think my plans in advance, so that the rest of the day he will be spending it going against whatever my plans are, whatever my progress is of the gospel. Because I took my cap off so that I don't confuse people on my way into a relationship. Do you know what? I'm still a woman of God. I am owning that. Whoever I meet, take it or leave it, that's who I am. Right now, the pressure that is against my life, there's no way I can shut off God. I can't hide it anymore because this guy has amplified things. I can be in church. If God speaks to me, if my mind tunes in and I think it, there's nothing I can do. Everybody, somehow, I don't know if it's everybody, actually. I don't know. But somehow this guy has done it on his own journey to resisting what God was trying to reach out to him. He's decided to take a whole level of brutality against me to prove that he's not going that way. He's not going to obey God. It's confirmed this the other day that they came to make sure he keeps up pretending he's a Muslim when he knows he once experienced God's power in a Christian way. So in his trying to resist that, he's incurred all this multiple personality disorder, invited demons into his life to attack me. But then somehow secretly hopes that if I get arrested, somehow he thinks I will have been taken down a notch for him to actually come and rescue. I don't know what kind of thought process that is for him to actually think he's going to be the one who rescues me because he wants to be with a Christian woman. Apparently he doesn't own that flat. When he's been deceiving people that he will pick me up and then I will go and live in there. After all these years of pretending he was married to Hannah. 2023, they were planning on how to be moving out of that flat and living in other flats. And now he wants to involve me, planning a whole level of aggression to transfer all that energy in me, beating me up from a distance, sexually violating me, stabbing my private areas, beating up my abdomen, causing me to bleed, trying to make me seem crazy. And then his girlfriends now call in and say, no, Rumbi Apeng, she's not crazy. We have to do a lot more work on her. These are girls who are about my age lately, who call into Zubia, or whose conversations are being exposed by Zubia. He'll be listening attentively. He's learning my language so that he keeps and he's like, I'm not crazy. It's known. They're NHS workers who know about this. Zubia is an NHS worker, security guard, Mr. Security Guard. The only way he can think of attaining me to defend his criminal activities, which are in line with terrorism, terrorist activities, things that terrorists plan as a group against communities. He is doing it against one person, against me. Apparently, the way he's understood me, he actually thinks they should come against me on such a level. Can you imagine? To discredit my reputation, to lower me down so far, to put me down and out so that I don't get into relationships, so that I don't have friends. Apparently, he's put so much, I don't know where anything is. Things that can record me. He's put things that can record me in this place. That terrorist people.